Well, hello and good morning from Canada. It's July 26th, and today I'm going to focus on that record player you see there, which goes with the console that I checked out yesterday, which is in largely good shape, but seemed to have some problems with FM reception. So let's have a look at the record player here. It's a very nice dual. The counterbalance tone arm, a lever, a plus minus speed adjust, 3 speeds, 16 not on here, but who in the heck ever plays a 16 record? Has the markings on here for the speed. It's kind of an odd place to put them up here because you need the right kind of light to shine on it to see these, but anyway, and plus when you put the record on it, well, I can't see the speed adjustment anymore. Generally, this is not in really good shape. This looks like it's been exposed. This is coming from inside of a cabinet. Actually, a stunning cabinet. I'll have to put a picture up of what this looks like. I don't have the cabinet. I just have this and the receiver over here. But this looks like it's been out because of the level of dirt here. It's hard to explain. When these are inside of a console cabinet, they usually look just like new all the time. So there's something odd about this. Plus, this rubber mat is warped a bit. Generally, these are glued down. Sometimes they have little nubbins they lock in, but a lot of them are glued. This one's glued, so the glue is lifted on part of it. Not a big deal. Okay, so when I try to turn it backwards, it locks up, which is good. That indicates good traction. Probably good traction. Okay, let's just take a look at the cartridge here. This has been in rough condition. So these cartridges, they have a kind of a quick release system. In the long run, it becomes a quick way to collect dirt. I don't think that's a particularly spectacular cartridge either. Okay, so these contacts are filthy. They're really, really bad. And you can think the same thing's going on where the contacts mate up in here. There's a lot of contact problems probably with this. You can see there is a needle. So I think it's a 7833 deal. Yeah, there it says LP. The other side is blank, oddly enough. It just doesn't say anything. Expected to say 78. So actually the way you view it is this way, so that's LP, so that's the LP needle. Okay, I think our work is cut out. I'm going to put it back here because this is probably the safest place for it to sit and remain. Okay. Have a manual size adjustment here. I have to power this. Normally it's powered out of this socket here, but I don't think the wire is with me. It says locked. Yeah. Let's take a look here and see what we can see. This is a very heavy record player. This is heavy, and this deck here is really heavy steel. So it's got really lacking in lubrication. Let me flip this right upside down if I can. I don't know if I can. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's just on the verge of falling off my stand, but it's good enough as long as I don't move it too much. Well, first thing I see is this is dry. This is really dry. And I look right in here, there's no lubrication. dry as can be. You can see the remnants of lubrication right here. It still is greasy, but mostly it's gone away. A little bit of dust on it. So this is the on-off, or the switch that switches the motor on and off. And I'm pretty sure it's going to send back 3 wires. There's 3 terminals here, so that the record player can turn power on here. And the idea is not so much that you come over to play a record, you turn the record player on and your amp comes on, although that would happen. The idea is when the record's over and the record player turns off, it turns off the amp. That's the idea. That's the real key to it. Well, we'll move a few levers here, but well, it moves very nicely. It's all moving very nicely. Whoops, kind of locked this. So I think I pushed the start. Really dry in here. Look, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but right there, there's really shiny metal, as if it's taken a beating right in here. Again, there's no lubrication. There's a wheel here that should rotate, which it's hard for me to make sure it looks like it's stuck. Yeah, it looks like it's stuck. Okay, it's just a big lubrication job here. Now this kind of motor I'm not that familiar with. In normal maintenance of a record player, there's a point where you can relubricate the rotor shaft bushings and bearings. So perhaps we should be doing these 2 screws and lifting this off, but I'm not sure about this kind of motor. We won't worry about it till we have to. But chances are, if lubrication's gone everywhere here, it's also gone from in here. Yeah, until it's lubricated and sort of ready to go, there's not much use in operating it. To operate it, I've got to sort out what's going on with all these 4 pins, only 2 of which need to have power supplied to them. And I don't think I have one of these plugs to put in there. Okay, gotta fool around my shop for a little bit. Get ready here. So I think to help me sort out the power wiring here, I'm gonna take this box off, cover off. I'm sure just looking in here should be able to figure out where and how to feed some power in there. Oh my gosh, there's a capacitor in there. Holy smokes. That's a new one. Capacitor right here. I'm sure it's in good shape just from looking at it. See, the contacts here have gone dark, just like, oh my gosh, there's a wiring diagram underneath there. I would never have thought. What is it actually showing? Here's the power plug. Attached to 6 and 7. Oh, these are numbered. So there's the on-off switch up here. It could be the one in the machine, or it's probably the one in here they're showing. So just put power on 6 and 7. And this is probably the feed back to turn on the stereo. The power wires on the other side of the switch, so that's what's going on. So power in here, switch it on, power here too, going back to turn on the guide. Now what's all this stuff here? This M doesn't show the capacitor in there, or does it? Capacitor goes, as I'm sure where they're sending it. It's coming from this wire and going to... Not sure what that is. I don't think it's showing on here. Well, this must be the motor. M for motor. Yeah, okay, that's what that is. Well, very good. Then this just shows me hook up the power to 6 and 7. That should be pretty easy. 5, 6, and 7. There we are. So how to do this safely? So okay, so I'm going to do something to make this safe for me to carry on. The other thing too is if I'm going to hook this up to here, I got to make sure I don't do something stupid with the way I hook the power up, or cause a short circuit on the power. Because I'm using clip leads over here to power this guy. I'm not paying attention to the polarity, if I can use that term. And yeah, I think I can make a mistake here and accidentally put a short right on the supply. Not a big deal. Just a deal. Not a big deal, just a deal. Okay, so what I've done is I've soldered in a simple plug here because I don't want trouble with the power connection. So it's an unpolarized plug. I have a plug expander. This is my bench supply for power to projects I'm working on. I'm going to pull this out. So this is clip leaded onto the power input here. This is a polarized plug, but it's random as to how it's hooked up. I'm going to plug it in there. I'm going to plug this one in here. And then, without plugging it in the wall or anything, I'm going to get my ohm meter. Uh-oh. I'm going to get my ohm meter. Here it is. And I'm going to look for continuity. I think I'm doing this. I think I'm doing this the right way. We'll put it on resistance here. This may or may not work out. So, is the chassis side over here hooked up to the non-chassis side over here? That's the question. If the chassis sides are hooked together, I should get 0. That's what I'm thinking. Let's try it. Not quite a 0, is it? That's 1500 and going up. Okay, let's reverse one plug. The only plug I can reverse, actually. Now what do you got? Let's see if it's any different. No different. Wait a second. What's going on here? What was that? I've worn this meter out. Okay, let's try that again. Plug one way. Now we're getting open. You want to believe this? Okay. So no connection between the chassis. I mean, this may not be a valid way of doing this, but it's a starting point anyway. Okay, so now I would hope to see 0 on the meter. Yeah, so what's happening here, actually now I can even see it. So there's a ground wire coming from the connector here, from the terminal. From the connector over here, tying into just grounding right near the audio circuits. So they're just bringing ground over here. But for some reason, I think what they're doing is they're going to bring over the chassis from here on this terminal. So chassis are connected together through this terminal, but this terminal is not hooked up to anything right now, right? The plug's not in, and I didn't hook any wires to it. So I think the chassis is floating free. I think all I've managed to do here is power the motor. Now, can I do anything wrong? I don't think. Maybe I can do nothing wrong if that's the case. Let's try this. Is there any connection between the motor power, winding power here, and the chassis? I don't think so. So if we don't maintain a connection of the chassis to the chassis, we'll get a hum out of here eventually, but I'm not going to worry about that now. So in a lot of record players, there's an extra black wire that comes out all by itself, usually with a spade plug on the end of it. That's what this is. That's what they've internalized here. They don't have a separate one. That's what I think. Okay, so the idea now is it really doesn't matter how I plug these together. The chassis is independent. Now what happens if I got this wrong? If I got this wrong and I plug this in, I turn on my dim lights, I get very bright dim lights. That's all. Nothing really bad is going to happen. Let's plug it in. Okay, here we are. Didn't quite fit right, but just notice that the ground prong from this guy is just exposed here. It's not involved. This is just a 2-wire extension cord coming from my isolation transformer. There's no hydro ground, so to speak, involved on my bench, although all the other equipment out here, everything, is connected to hydro ground on purpose, very purposefully. That's what this green wire is here, you can see. Okay, so if I hit the power, the worst thing that can happen is my dim bulb lights come on really bright. Now I've got this record player upside down. For all I know, it's going to try to play the moment I apply power to it. So don't want that either, not upside down. So I can flip it right side up for now. This is not going to go anywhere. I don't have to worry about it. We have no audio yet. Look at how dirty these connectors are. Holy smokes. Can you see that in the camera? Not really. They're just filthy black. I think maybe did they use silver on everything here, hoping that would be a good contact surface, but you know, silver. Wow, this is heavy. This is way heavier than the vast majority of record players. Part of that could be the platter. A heavy platter is a good thing. Okay, so it is in the start position because I moved something underneath. I'm gonna manually operate it here. This is probably a good idea anyway, first time. Now, because I'm doing this with my hand, I can feel how much demand there is in the mechanism to operate. In other words, how much drag it puts on. Let's go through the whole thing here. Okay, so it's a pickup problem. And that's usually tied back to a lubrication issue. It's not picking up. So where are we now? Let's try this whole thing again. Didn't take a lot of force to keep it turning. That's good. It's not going to pick up at the end. Okay, I think it's off. Speed is 33, pitch control all the way to negative for some reason. Any reason to put a record on there? Yeah, why not? Why not put a record on there? Okay, I actually have a selection here of records. How about a Bob Dylan record? Bob Dylan. Well, maybe not. Maybe a, let's go for Woodstock. Woodstock, you know, I was just kind of coming of age as Woodstock was going on. I was probably 12 or somewhere in that age range. And I just thought it was just the coolest thing because it was portrayed as the youth of the United States or the youth of North America or the youth of the world standing up and saying, okay, we want to do things our way. I don't think that's ever happened before in the whole history of mankind. Okay, so we're going to apply power here. First question is, do those dim bulbs come on and blast away? So here we go. Dim bulbs on. And we have some action here. The record player started turning. I thought I had it off. I mean, it's in the stop position here. Well, the good deal is this is turning now. I've applied power to this guy too by doing this. Did he? Maybe I have it turned off. Okay, let's continue on with this. We won't worry about that. We're just using this to supply the power. So let's start and see what happens. Right on, right in the center of the groove. Okay, now we already know it won't pick up at the end, but let's give it a try. I don't think I'll get a copyright hit from that. Basically, if your ears can't process it, I don't think their computers can either. That's YouTube. And it's oh, still going. Just want to give it a real good test here. So remember, what triggers the record player is the speed of the tone arm, not the position of the tone arm. So when you get into the last third of the record player becomes sensitive to the speed. See the speed go up? The speed of the movement? That should have been enough to trigger it, and it didn't. So we'll try a stop here. So I believe when you push the stop, a lot of these record players, you are essentially mechanically forcing the mechanism that would normally trigger it. If that mechanism is not triggering it, forcing it may not trigger it either. I think that's what we're looking at. Now there's no record up here. It should know that and not try to play it again. And there it goes. Trying to play it again. Okay, so those are all just kind of reflections of, oh, let's try this. Yep, picks it up. Oh, it's even damped still. A lot of these lose their damping. Beautiful. Fantastic. Now let's just take a quick check of the weight here. It's set to 3. What does it feel like? Let's see. My very, very light. So that could easily be a 3 or lighter. It's very, very light. Now there's another switch that click usually turns it off. Click doesn't seem to turn it off. So again, so probably just lubrication issues. We can take a look at the speed here. I think if my lights are flashing enough. What we're trying to do, and then you know actually the camera might do some funny things here. So we're hoping to see. I don't see anything there. See oh heavens, what do you call that? You know, standing still because the light is flashing. Stroboscopic effect here. Let me reduce the amount of lights. Do I have a handy neon type light? That would be the best. A handy neon type light. I don't think so. Let's darken it down. Now, is there just the wildest chance that this light is stroboscopic? Is that even a word? Stroboscopic? I don't see any strobing effect. Don't think it's stroboscopic. I have the feeling this is powered by DC, so that didn't help. Okay, what are we going to do here? I need some kind of strobe light. I need a strobe light. Gotta find something. Well, I thought I'd check and see if I have any neon lights. Hey, I have a few. Look at that. What's with this one? This one's black. Now, yeah, it's not going to be in focus here unless I can work some kind of miracle. So inside are two electrodes. They are touching in this one, and that's why it's gone. Is there any other like that? Here's another one with a bit of a black deal at the bottom, but they're definitely not touching in this one. Well, I have some neon lights. Let's pick one. How am I going to get it going? I need 80 volts to trigger one of these. 80 volts to trigger it. Okay, this is definitely in the realm of jury rigging here. Oh, you know what? I have another neon. I have a neon light. Wait one cotton pick a second. I have my precious neon light. So what makes this precious is, yeah, I was such a geeky kid. My parents bought me this for Christmas. I mean, this wasn't my only Christmas gift, okay? This was in my stocking. But, you know, what kind of parents walk through a hardware store and go, hey, Jim would like that? I still have it. There it is. So I've had this since I was 7 or 8. Something stupid like that. So this'll do. I just have to power it. Well, powering it's pretty easy. It's a lot better than working with these empty light bulbs here. I just need an extension cord. Here we go. This might work. Okay. Yeah, so it's almost made for the job. Go in there, go in there. Stay in there, hold it like that. Breathe the speed. Okay, let's see if we can make the light come on. I can use this outlet here. Nobody gets shocked, nobody gets electrocuted here. There it is, my Christmas neon light. You can see the neon light. Okay, off with this. Oh, I got a big light on here too. Now, don't grab the live wires. There we are. What do you see in the camera? All this may not have worked for the camera because the camera has a shutter rate. The light's down. But I can certainly see it. And it's dead steady. If anything, it's going slightly fast. It's going slightly fast, and this is set to maximum negative. Maybe now we know why. Let's set it to positive. Okay, let's put that there. It's really hard to move. There we go. Now it's easy to move. It was almost too easy. I think whatever this is, it's sticky. So we have this up on plus now. Did it change the speed? Oh yeah, she's going faster. Again, you can't see it in the camera. It's hopeless in the camera, but now it's definitely out of control. So the speed has been reduced to 0. Or reduced to 0. The speed is set. Speed adjustment is set maximum negative. Still going too fast. Seems to be quite fast. Let's try this on 45. Oh! Okay. Okay, we're not going to try it. I can't adjust the speed control. Can't adjust the speed control. Seems to run a little fast. It's possible it's running fast because it's got a little too much voltage here. 115. No, that's not happening. Okay, let me get this out of here before I shock myself. That was interesting. We discovered that the speed control is set maximum slow on purpose, and the speed selector is frozen. Should we try playing a record just to find out what's going on with the cartridge? Why not? Let me stop and we'll hook up the sound here. Okay, so step one is testing these chords, because we can't afford to have a bad chord. Because that can really confuse things. Okay, chord test good. Now I've got to plug it into the record player underneath there. Let's cut the power here. And so I'm going to run this. Well, you know, I could run it through here. Is that too much? Okay, let's first get it plugged into the record player. Okay, we'll put the lock on. Now I haven't cleaned these contacts back here, so there's a chance there's a problem. So first we'll put these right into my audio system over here. Just what you listen to me through. You listen to me through this panel over here. So if I go like this, things get pretty quiet pretty quick. There we go. Master volume. Three microphones. You're listening to me on 3 microphones, by the way. One stereo microphone over the top of the bench, and another one that's right in front of me here. So when I turn in the direction I'm in now, I'm speaking into a microphone. Interestingly enough, maybe you're not interested, but I mean it's all electronics, right? So okay, so output from here is going to go into this mixer, which I need to use because I don't have enough inputs on the other guy. Into here. And then these two plus these two. Now to make sound come out, I don't listen to the audio while I'm doing this, by the way, because if I put headphones on, it's not long before I forget and try leaving the room and I yank down half my stuff. So I avoid wearing headphones while I'm in here. Sound in my headphones is very low also. Okay, but we're ready now for hum check. Hum hum hum. Okay, there's a little bit of a hum there. That's, you know, if the cartridge is good, this is blastingly loud. Very little hum. Okay, that's what's going on over there. Come back here. Pick that record of Woodstock. Canned Heat, Going Up the Country. I've actually got a Canned Heat record. That's song number 2, so we'll try and play song number 2 here. Oh, I can't play it. I will get a copyright hit. What am I thinking? Okay. I have a couple ways around that now. The copyright hit. I either do time slicing, or in video editing, I slice out a few seconds every 10 seconds. I slice out a second every 10 seconds. That's confusing enough. We need power. That's confusing enough to the YouTube algorithm that I can sneak some stuff in that way. The other way is I just turn the volume up and down, which is what I'll probably do here. Volume is down right now, so we won't hear this. The motor has a click, 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 something doing that. Okay, I'm gonna cut down the microphone sound and just attempt to make this record come through. See if I can make this happen.
What a lovely dream.
Okay, well, what's happening? I got one channel only. If you're listening to this in stereo, I'm doing this in stereo. So put headphones on, you'll really hear what's happening. So now that could just be wires, it could be all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to turn the volume up on the dead channel and then do stuff to try to make it pop into life here. Let's start. I'm just going to check to make sure the other channel's working first.
Feeling me.
Yes, it is. Okay. Where are you defective? Well, no, it's not the wire because I tested it. But everything else is up for grabs here. So I'd love to stick my hand up under here and play around with the phono, but the power stuff is right next to it. I didn't put the plastic cap back on to protect it. That was a mistake. Okay, this is a little awkward. I'm gonna have to stop, do a couple things underneath, and then right, do the right thing here. So, okay, all mics back on. Lift this up. I gotta turn the power off to this. I can't do this with the power on. We're gonna lift this up, flip it this way. Oh, the record's a problem. The record is a problem. Scared myself. Okay, you don't want to set this on the tone arm. Let's put it like this. Okay, put the magic box back on so I don't. Hey, how's this go on? I guess this all come through the small door here. Yeah. It's not a door, it's a window. You don't have to do this tight, just need to get it on somehow. Might keep rolling away. It's been rolling on the platter. That's good. So I was going to reach in here, but this is not good. Don't want to engage because it's not settling down far enough. There we are. Okay. Broke out into a sweat doing that. Okay, up we go. So now I've enabled it so I can safely stick my hand up there. Okay. And we'll try these out. Record again. And so if I'm playing records and making these videos and I start, and you notice that bits and pieces of the music are missing, or things seem to be chopped up. Yeah, that's me doing that. That's me doing that. How about some power? Okay, audio levels. Still one channel. Song with a quiet start. Okay, so the quiet channel is on, so we should hear this, but we don't. So now I'm gonna which way I gotta do a little. I gotta figure out whether it's the black or the white wire. Hang on a sec here. Okay, it's the black wire. That must be it. It's the black wire that's carrying the signal. It's the white wire that is dead. So I'm going to reach under there, mess around with the white one here. Nothing happening. Okay, next possibility is right in the back of the cartridge, the contact has failed. So we're going to raise this up and get something to probe with. Finger on it. Unfortunately, we can't lift these very high. It's really problematic on this. Let's try this. We'll take this off because it's almost certainly the contact. Not almost certainly, but quite likely. Oh, hey, I'm showing it over here. Yeah, new cameras, new camera positions. Let's flip this around this way. Okay. These appear to be a little bit cleaner than these, like somebody went at these already. Contact is actually out here. They don't look so bad. Say we can't see up there easily, but let's try see if we can get a view up in there. Well, look at how dirty those are, and the contact is actually, I think, right sort of at the end of those spring fingers, if you like, where they bend, and you see they're very, very shiny. That's probably really the contact area. These have to be scraped a bit, so I'm gonna clean away at those. It's very awkward to do, and we'll try this again. So while I'm scraping and cleaning away at those contacts, there's sounds coming out of the channels. So have a listen. I put the sound on now. We should hear this. I don't know how loud it's going to be, but here we go. Not very loud at all. Let me turn it up. Okay. So there's 4 contacts, and I'm just kind of sweeping through them, and you'll hear as I hit different contacts, the left or the right, you'll hear it. So that's in my right ear. That's in my left ear. So what that tells me is that everything is good right to here. This is really... So what we're left with, if it's not this contact, which I think it's a good chance it is, then it's the cartridge itself. do the finger thing here. So I only hear it out of the my left side, yet when I was brushing I could hear sounds out of the right side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn down the left side that we can hear and put the right side up full. A bit of a hum there. 0. Zero. Let me just turn it down a bit here so I don't pop our ears. So there is wires. There are wires back here. And the problem could easily be the contact into the cartridge. Let's take a closer look with the other camera. See if we can see anything. So this is my new camera to replace my other Microsoft camera that I use so much for close-ups. I use it for close-ups because it's a small camera. You can jam it in and it focuses really close to the front of the camera. So I thought, well, I had a cinema. I'm going to buy the next level up. This is a studio. I'm not trying to promote this in any way. This is a studio. And the first thing I noticed is it is hot. Like, this is hot to hold on to. Much hotter than the other one. It's not uncomfortable, but it makes you wonder, is this how hot this is supposed to get? Secondly, the focal distance. The other camera would focus up like this. This one can't focus any closer to that. So I kind of lost the super close-up ability of it. Let's see what we can do with it though. Because it produces a nice sharp image. I'm not really complaining about that part of it. Okay, what do we got? You see, I don't think I can get any closer. Let me just bear with me here, because if I can, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing up the dialog box for that camera here on my computer, and then, yeah, you know what, it's set to maximum closeness, so that's as close as we can get now. So I'll be looking for a wire off. They all look like they're on there, or a wire. Looks a little clumsy how it's been done here. Not that I'm not clumsy too. I'm going to try to rotate each one of these a little bit. The idea is I'm restoring contact that may be missing. That's the idea. This one's almost off. Is that the problem? Oh, I've just knocked the cartridge all cockeyed here. Yeah, that just about fell right off. It did fall off. Now, this stuff is very delicate. Get on there. You know what? There's solder inside this connector. That's probably what's happened. So I think it's making contact the way it is. Trying to straighten it out here. Well, we're on the LP side, right? It's the only side with writing on it. Yeah, LP. I can see LP on there. LP. Okay. Let's look underneath here. Did I manage to do anything useful under there? Doesn't look much different. Okay. volume up, both sides. Full blast. Only one side. I may have to replace the cartridge just to find out if that one's bad by putting one in that does both channels. And I have a couple of replacements here, but I don't know the condition of these. Where did I get these from? That's a good question. Did this come out of my collection, or did this came with this record player? I think the fellow. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Another way to test the cartridge. Take the cartridge out and look for voltage generated, but we already know it's not generating voltage, because at least voltage all the way back to here. Could still be a wire between the cartridge and the cartridge. Let me touch those wires, and let's turn this down, and we're gonna have a bit of a surprise. I'm going to touch the wires and see what's happening with it in this configuration here. Yeah, I'm going to touch the wires. I cannot see them. Well, here's one. Okay, so you're hearing the sound of the, you're not hearing me. That's interesting. The other ones are really just all left channel. That kind of suggests no contact between the head shell and the tone arm. Go up a little higher here. Kind of like an ASMR thing, eh? But everything is coming through one channel, even the mechanical sounds. Only on the left. Okay. Try something here. Okay, so what? Didn't think my microphones were working there for a second. Of course, this isn't this rectangular piece, everything. Okay, the idea here is I'm going to try to measure the voltage being generated by the cartridge. Now I've got this set to 2 volts AC, and you see it's already giving a reading because the wires are picking stuff up like a radio antenna. I'm a short circuit. But if I put one finger on, I'm a good antenna. Now I'm a shorted antenna. So in light of the fact that this thing will get readings out of the air, we will still attempt this. I'm going to try to put this on. I don't know, is it left and right? I don't even know how these work exactly, but we're just going to try stuff. See what we can get. This is tricky enough right here. Can I look at the meter? Okay. So I'm touching the thing and stopping. Touching the thing and stopping. So it's got like a 0.1 volt of noise, but when I touch the thing, it jumps up. Now we'll try the other side here. Similar sort of noise. It touched the thing. There's no jumping. No jumping, Jim. Did I really get the contacts here? When you get a negative test, it's time to really rethink what you're doing and not just go with it. Okay. No. Okay. Contact. Touching. No change. Okay. Try. Let's just try from a different angle here. Okay, so I'm not very good with the chopsticks. Okay, that's pretty good contact. I got each one in under independent control. That's definitely contact. Here we go. Small jump. You see the jump? There was a jump there. What happened there? Okay, let's just get it back here. Okay, contact. Needle. Jump. Jump. What is it? Am I touching something by accident? How come it dropped down to that low? Ah. What are we concluding here? We're not concluding anything yet. It's pretty easy to write off the cartridge when it's still good, just by accident. Chopsticky way of doing it here. Chopsticky. I'm demonstrating cultural insensitivity? I don't think so. There we go. Contact needle. Okay, no rubbing, dubbing here. Okay, other one. Okay, contact. Lower reading needle. Needle's producing voltage. Needle. Like, some cartridges will produce a volt when you do this. This may be a weak cartridge anyway. Weak and old. It's a tired, old, weak cartridge. Contact. Needle. I saw a jump. Let me just do nothing for a while. 148 steady. Okay. Needle. Whoa! Got all the way up to a volt there. Did you see that? Did you see that? Did I see that? Let's try it again. Well, I can't write this off because from time to time it's producing. And the other side, always producing. This side again. The side of question. Nothing, 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 nothing. And then it'll suddenly do it. So what's happening there is I'm depressing the needle quite a ways into the cartridge. Let's see how much we can see into this cartridge. We don't know yet if the needle's even any good. Okay, back to the hot camera. Back to the hot camera. It's hot enough that anybody would say, is there something wrong with this? Is this how it's supposed to be? That's what I'm saying. And we're going to want to try to look. So the needle rides in a needle. The needle rides in a little carriage, you can see there, and often these pieces they're rubbery and they give up the ghost earlier than you might want. They show signs of distortion, one side kind of warped. Also, they become very, very stiff. So that feels quite stiff. Maybe dirt can get up in there, but you know, if you're getting zero response, it's probably the case that something has gone wrong internally inside the cartridge. That doesn't look exactly the same, does it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out my microscope. We're going to go for a deep dive on that thing and see what's going on with it. Okay, there you are. You see it under the microscope. We might have trouble identifying parts here because it's so zoomed in. So there, Aha, okay, so that's right in there is where the needle rides. And the movement of the needle is transmitted into the cartridge through this yellow frame here. Let's see if we can focus further down on it. Going down. So I'm trying to look kind of past that now. Really don't know what are you going to see down there. So I mean, there's a left and a right, and they should look the same. That was what got me to do this. They didn't look the same. Okay, so I'm trying to. That's it. That's it right there. That's one side. And the other side. Wait a minute. It's really hard to look at this and sort anything out. You know what? It's too close. It's too zoomed in. Okay, so I can back off the zoom here. If I might be able to. This is a crazy camera. These cameras, the zoom and the focus work together. If you zoom, you need to focus, and it can be challenging. There we are. Now, so I want to look at that side versus that side, deeper down. There we are. That side, just the way it just the way it looks versus that side. Well, yeah, and what am I going to do about it anyway? I mean, that's another really good question. That's way up on top, that piece. Well, yeah. Don't think we're going to get anywhere like this. I'm certainly not seeing anything that's going to go, ooh, just poke that with a stick and it'll work. I don't think that's going to happen. So I must go the next step now, which is to put a known working cartridge in there. That's a challenge. I might have to wait till tomorrow to do that because it's gotten so late here this morning. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stop at this point and carry on tomorrow and try different cartridges, get one that's working, put it in, even jury rig it in there temporarily, and then see if both channels don't come to life, and then we can condemn the cartridge. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching to this point, and see you tomorrow.